What's going on, traders? Yeah, I just want to get on here and share the trading day with you. At the moment, we're back on board the pound dollar train. Kind of had some weird news event that just happened about 20 minutes ago. It's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, kind of pre-market for New York. I like to dip in. Let me make sure this thing's streaming correctly and everything's working. It's kind of one of them days so far. But yeah, just kind of just pre-market before New York. I like to get in about 8 o'clock or so, just to keep an eye on the market or whatever. See how it's setting up for New York session. You can kind of see, you can go on the bigger time scale. I'll go on the 4-hour. On a bit of an uptrend here, so we've been riding the pound all the way to the bottom of this bearish trend here for a while. I had a big kind of money mistake the other day, which I'll be kind of upfront about. I've been trying to keep the balance this week at $800 on this account to be just break even. And I was fucking with these stop losses and everything. I was getting so tired of getting stopped out. And so I decided to just stop using stop losses. And, we're on a downtrend. We've been on a downtrend for days. Couldn't possibly, be at the bottom of the pile. I also, had a little bit of a estimate as far as like a bottom position, being a little bit further down, as like I did a Fibonacci retracement on a larger time scale as kind of a guess on where this thing would end up. Let me make sure all these charts are good while I'm talking here. Let's see if that looks good before I get too carried away. I'm gonna drop it down just a hair. Yeah, and so as you can see, I went to bed, and the thing turned around big time on me, and I didn't have stop losses in. Ended up losing almost like $100 that day, which is what it is. Looks like we're in a little bit of a drawdown position now. See if that's going. See what that's doing. After this news event, I happened to just get in on this thing. I was thinking buy, actually, mainly because we have a break of structure here down to the bottom. Started getting a smaller shoulder. Thought it might go again to kind of retest it, so I ended up getting a buy. Brushing my teeth this morning, must have had a news event or something. Boom, was up really big and then down just as big. It was like all within a matter of 5 minutes. And it rallied back though, and it just as quick. But then when it rallied back, we only got a high up to here. I'm gonna try to mark these things so we can all see the same thing. What I want to do. The rally back was only to this position, which is far beneath the high. So to me, that's a sign at this point to start selling. Just because it's been up for yesterday, basically, just yesterday and today. Big movements up though. We got what's that? 150 pips in a matter of. Let's actually. So on the closer time scale here, I actually had that sell position like right down here. I went to bed. So let's see here. 11:30. Yeah, I went to bed around here. I thought, my order. I wasn't in the greatest of positions, but I wasn't in a bad position either. I think I was about right in there. I think I had taken a sell. I'm not sure where, but it was something like that. I might be a little bit off. But I was thinking, oh, we're on the downtrend. I seen it up here, didn't breach those highs. Thinking, just go to bed and see what happens. And we had this retracement, and then if I would have freaking set my take profit at least, I might have been able to squeak by with a little win. But then I woke up to did this shit show. I might be off. I might have been over here. I can't remember. I don't think I was that close to the bottom. Yeah, and then boom, I woke up to this fucking thing just taking off. Total worst case scenario. But typical Forex, it's typical life in general. It's like if you have any type of fear of something bad happening, be prepared to experience it. But, what they say, scared money don't make money, so we got to try to, learn things the hard way, I guess. So I ended up just putting a little bit more into the account just to get it back to where it was before, making these bonehead mistakes outside of these live streams. I actually think I'm going to beef up this account just a hair more, just for the entertainment factor, to $1,000. I'm not doing it at the moment because I need to eventually go paint this house today. It's a little bit kind of rainy. I wouldn't say rainy, but it's like definitely could. And so I figure I'd get on here and I just transfer a little bit of money. I'll do the rest of it later today because I gotta run to the hardware store and fix my broken toilet, which I broke yesterday. Which maybe this is too much information to be sharing just with random strangers, but the fill tube of the toilet has been subtly leaking, for a while. And I had to get to the bottom of it. Noticed my water bill was a little bit more expensive, so it's starting to affect things, and so it's like I gotta figure out what's happening. And in doing so, I broke the tube, and so I gotta get that fixed today. Go to town and I'll switch that money around into this account too. I think that would be more exciting. I'm really going full, almost full sizing. I got 11,000 volume position. What's that, about $700? Once this thing takes off to the downside here, I'm probably going to level up even more because I have like about $129 available to trade. Looks like this one's turning out to be a pretty good winner. I'm hoping it goes all the way down to where the news hysteria kind of took this thing. We're at $6 profit. I'm going to go ahead and put a stop in just to take profit, or not really take profit as much as not lose any. The problem with doing that, it's like a lot of times it just taps it and goes back down, so I'm like kind of hesitant to do that, but I want to get a better strategy to grab some of these profits instead of just missing out, I guess. I'm actually not even going to have it up that high. I want this thing to run a little bit longer. It's $1.32 stop loss. With this volume size, 11,000, I'm closing that position. I don't trust this little doji. I have a feeling it's going to take off up to the upside. I'm going to not be so impulsive today. Let things breathe and play out a little bit better. That's been kind of the theme of the week. The impulsivity. I might actually start scalping the Swissy too. I had a big win with that. I'm gonna hit that sell again. Let's have, you know, it had that little indecision there for a second. And I'm not exactly thrilled with the position of this doji candle, but it's on the 5 minute. We'll look at the 1 minute. Not too bad. It looks like it'll kind of peter down, which it looks like it's doing. The biggest thing is that it peters down enough that we can close the trade in profit and pay the commissions, which kind of the easy way. I've kind of figured out how to do it with, I use Forex.com, not necessarily promoting them. I haven't got a payout from them, so don't know if they're how they are on that front, which is probably like the most important part for people that are successful. But I'm still working at getting more and more successful at this. We're at 352 on this this recent bearish candle. I'm gonna let this ride a hair. I'm just gonna get the stop loss ready this time. Do at a 0. I'm gonna put it right there. I just have a feeling that this thing might just snap up really high to the upside, just because it's been in such a bull trend the past couple days. It's great for if you're shorting it, because you can get in these kind of cool positions, and I guess got tapped by it. Again, with this doji, kind of don't trust it. Problem is, if you start nickel and diming like I'm doing, the broker wins a bigger percent than the equity of the account. But it is movement in the direction we want to see. A little green in the P&L for today. I'm gonna let this breathe for a second. Not abnormal that this thing could bounce all the way back up to the top of this this candle. And for people that may have not been mindful of the news, they might be looking at that as the lower, the swing low, and that as like a higher high, which might give them the ammunition to pull the trigger on a buy and try to ride that up to the upside here. It looks like a bull trap to me, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of wait for this thing to... I'm going to get one more sizing on the order here. Let this breathe for a second. We got a doji candle. Is it going up or down? I'm thinking down. Now we're at 1200 for the volume size. I'm just going to close out of that. I don't like the direction it's going. Like I said, it looks like it's going to engulf the rest of this this bearish candle. I'm resisting the urge to go back and forth between buying and selling. Kind of one of my own little rules I've been violating with this this particular pair, since it's been on such an uptrend. But the thing with it being on an uptrend, with the larger time scale, to go to at least we go to the daily. It is still somewhat of a danger zone. I would almost think if it just bounces back, we'll do a fib retracement on it. If it bounces to this level, I wouldn't be surprised, if it hits something like . thick so everybody can see it. It wouldn't surprise me if it hits this fib level at 1.22975 and then fucking goes right back down. You can kind of see on the daily trend here when there is uptrends during the downtrend. You got 1, 2, 3, 3 days of uptrend and then tanking. So still thinking sell on the bigger time scale for our bias, but we got to be, what is the market actually doing today? So if we get on to the 4 hour, you can see uptrend, 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 big wicks up. I don't know where a lot of that optimism's coming from. Followed by, at 9 o'clock here, we're in kind of a, what do they call that, a shooting star? Hammer and sickle? I don't know what everybody calls these things, but that's a reversal signal. So, for maybe the next hour or two during New York session, it's 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York session time. So, what we're going to do, we got doji candle again. We're going to go with just a sell. And, it doesn't seem like this is getting much momentum. There is a decent amount of buyers still in the crowd here, by the looks of this candlestick wick. That interpretation comes from just the flow of this thing. Let me kind of maybe the brush. So we open up here, push all the way down to this bottom of this wick. Buyers push it just a hair above it, which starts the candle right there. At some point, sellers push it all the way down, but then the buyers come in and push it just a hair, a couple clicks above where it opened out. And now we're at this doji candle, which is basically when you got it smack dab in the middle, sometimes small body of the candle, large wicks on either side, kind of equally spaced. It's a sign of indecision. Typically when you have indecision in the smaller time scale, it's helpful to think of the larger time scale as being the force that will push it in the actual direction. Not thrilled by that movement at all. I'm getting ready to close this guy. We're at negative 744. We started at 800. Not a good start for the day here in the hole, just a little bit. A lot of activity here on the pound dollar this morning. Before I close that, I kind of want to see, since that was beneath these wicks, pretty high chance that it's going to drop here. And if it does drop, it'll be kind of demoralizing to the buyers in the sense that, it's like, it's pretty obvious that it's that it is about leveled out here for the time being. If not, continuing on a little bit. What was I doing? Continue by a little bit of a downtrend. Let me jump into the chat, see what's going on with you guys. Appreciate y'all being here. A couple of you are checking out the stream today. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully your day is going smooth and you're making lots of awesome decisions on your positions and everything. This is kind of just me doing this. You know, I'm not like an expert or anything. I just started doing the day trading, Forex, a few months ago, but I've been really balls deep in it. You know, I've been in every session like 24/5 since you know, getting involved in this. I have the kind of personality when I get into something, I just go all in. I don't really have a lot of the indecision that it seems like a lot of people around me have, which is sometimes a detriment. Yeah, I'm not really thrilled with how stable this is. And we're at a 1% risk for the account. I'm still resisting the urge to hit it just because it's not skyrocketing past these other positions. I'm on the 5-minute chart. Let me get into 1-minute chart, see boots on the ground kind of what's happening. Yeah, it looks like we actually are getting ready to draw. I can tell that by hopefully that's easy enough to see. So the highest wick here was beneath this wick, which there's really not a lot of mercy when it comes to, well, it just barely was under it, so maybe it'll go back up. It's like, nope, no fucking way. It didn't hit it. And you gotta think of it in terms of like a robot or like a program. It's like the emotions that we can have of like hope and optimism and like, well, maybe it'll turn around, maybe it'll do this. It's like if it didn't hit it, it's not going to. You know, and so if it didn't cross that threshold, that idea that we can get, that addictive thinking of like, well, maybe next time it'll do it. Just one more time. Well, it doesn't seem to have that kind of mentality at all. And so, which is nice because then you can reliably go, oh, well, it didn't hit that. It's for sure going to do this. Those for sure's, I think, are really important when it comes to any type of business. You know, this is new for me, but, you know, having my own business and like creating income and everything like that has been something I've been regularly doing for at least a decade. You know, I mean, time's kind of flying by. But when you start to actually do entrepreneurial things, do creating these different systems and everything, being decisive and not having doubts and like what ifs and fears and everything else, it's really important, especially for just your own mental health. You know, so you're not just sitting there freaking out all the time, being hysterical, thinking worst case scenarios, and as you're, you know, ruminating on the absolute what you don't want, you could just be spending that exact same time and mental energy focused on either what you do want or sorry, I lost my train of thought here as I'm like kind of watching this, but you know, you start focusing more on the successful end of things and not the failing end of things. Trading Forex is really easy to see failures and successes just by the cold hard math of it. You know, the P&L numbers. You can look at all those times where you're losing money or being on the wrong side of trades as failures. This is turned around for our position nicely. We were substantially at a 1% loss there, almost closed it out. Good thing I didn't, because now we're sitting in a good profitable position at the moment. Really, the next pivotal spot is going to be this guy. I'll make this a green so everybody can see it, kind of transparent, so don't get lost in that. So this position here is going to be the next pivotal spot. It's kind of working through the left a little bit more, but if we cross that threshold, then it's very likely that we'll continue to the downside in a pretty dramatic fashion to test this one. But the thing of it is, if it closes above that, still a danger zone that it could just shoot off like a rocket ship. We're at 636 profit. I have my finger on the button here for when it hits this threshold, because it can just jump right on back. And for our sake, I'm not going to do it at the bottom of the wick because it might just tap here and then take off. We're going to be really mindful of what it's doing. A typical thing to look for as it's falling, this little bullish turnaround here. Let me highlight it so we can all see the same thing. This little area right here where we're starting to get a little bit of a pullback, it's really common following kind of a bearish fall. I call it bull traps, I think is the best way to think of it, because it is like a trick. And the trick is, oh, let me get out of my sell position because it's done dropping. And a lot of times it'll go up just a hair, maybe split that difference, and then continue down. So instead of like seeing a little bit of a move in the opposite direction and freaking out and selling, it's a good thing to kind of just see how that bear trap resolves. And then in this case, it continued to the downside. We're at $8 profit. We'll see what it does once it hits this bottom. I'm going to sell it as soon as I'm going to close the position as soon as we get to the bottom. Or maybe not. We'll see if it flies through it. If it flies through it, we'll keep it. And you start grabbing these $10 positions all day long. 11, it's blasting through it. It's going to test the bottom wick. And we'll see if we have the volume to blast through it, or if it's going to bounce. $12. We'll be real mindful with that. We're going to sell it. And it could continue down to the downside here, but got a little bit of a bullish kind of idea going on. If we're looking at the 4 hour here, this is very common to see after a high, which the high is the top of this wick at the moment. It's not uncommon to see high followed by a bearish candle, and then continue to go up from there. So kind of a danger zone for shorting, just because there's a lot of hysteria and momentum in the upside going on, mainly because we've been dropping and dropping and dropping for weeks. And so the first sign of change of direction here, a lot of uncertainty, sketchiness. You know, I was getting a lot of that, you know, with the Swiss. I'm gonna actually look at the Swissy. Well, this is. I caught the, you know, I was, looks like this guy's gonna take off too. This is on the 4 hour, but we got kind of a bullish doji candle. I might actually trade this guy for a little bit, but yeah, what was it? or what is today? Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, I was trading the Swissy, like day trading. I'm actually gonna pull the 5-minute chart up here, see what this is doing. I'm gonna take a buy on this. Yeah, 25K position. Oh, Mike, that's so impulsive. And kind of. Yeah, but this is kind of financial entertainment for the moment. But I just have a feeling this thing has been just doing, boom, it just takes off, and then it's got these big swings. Might be a little bit more exciting, or I could just give away all my profits I just accumulated over the morning here. But like, yeah, what was it? I think we were right in here the other day, and like, I was getting so much shorting pressure, you know, and it's just like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Let me get to the correct day. This isn't a. It was over here, and so there was just unbelievable amount. It was like this one right here. I ended up, you know, catching a lot of these bearish freaking shorts, and it was like, what are you guys doing? This is obviously on an uptrend. Lots of bearish pressure. Then I started trying to short it. I ended up getting screwed. Again, you know, that was just a bad day. But then I ended up, after finishing the stream, reducing the size from 25K, I think, to 10, something like that. And then next thing you know, it shoots sky high. And I actually got the sell right here. It was really close to the position. It was really close to the position I initially marked out during the live stream where it landed. I need to pay attention to this a little bit because we're moving in a direction that's benefiting our position already. That's good. But yeah, then so I sold it, and like a jackass, I immediately got back into the trade, and then it went to shit after that, as you can tell. And this is part of, you know, I had a position open here that that I was basically lost $30, I think 30. What happened was, I went to bed, you know, I got stopped out by just not having enough money available to trade, and my position got liquidated, luckily by this broker. Will do that for you. It was a good call getting in on the Swissy at $7 and something. Yeah, it seems like this one, like the pip amount, seems like it's more than the pound. I don't know if that's true or not. It just feels like that. At 8 something, 8:51. Let's get into the smaller time scale. Let's see if we're going to breach this threshold. If we do, we're in a definitely winner chicken dinner. Oh, we just breached it. Look at that. We'll grab these $10 wins all day long. This is going to actually probably be a big win, because we're almost catching this big breakout. At $13 profit. We got our finger on the button here. $16 just about. Yeah, we're crushing it right now. Looks like the Swissy is definitely treating us very, very nicely today. $18. We're being very mindful of where we're at. Oh shit, that's a $22 jump. I'm gonna put a stop in at $15 right now. Don't want to get too close to it. $22 win, and it's still climbing. I think it's going to climb all the way up. Hopefully we don't get stopped out real quick. See if that hits our stop loss. Hopefully it doesn't. My finger on the button here. Yeah, stop loss is just a hair underneath that candle. Just got hit, but that was a nice win. And the thing I've learned from the Swissy here, don't underestimate how fast this freaking thing will take off in the other direction either. Yeah, so in the past, as in the past few days ago, I would wait for this candle and then I would just buy again with that fear of missing out shit. This time around, we're going to be a little bit more deliberate, maybe. We're going to let this thing breathe, give it a couple minutes to get all that bearish energy out of its system here. Meanwhile, I think I'm going to make a cup of coffee. It's 9:30. New York session just kicked off. I'm going to be switching probably between the Swissy here and the pound. I don't fuck with the euro, USD. Mike, why not? It's the most popular market. Bop, 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 bop. And it's like, if there's going to be fucking trickery and fuckery, it's going to be on the most popular liquid markets. And so, I'd rather not deal with people that are totally brand new, because then it's confusing. The areas are not as clearly defined. There's weird shit that can start happening. I'm not going to catch this falling knife on the pound either. This is a good time to take a break, drink some coffee, maybe buy the Swissy here. And the reason I did that is because these bottom wicks, up, 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 and now we just breached that candlestick wick, so I don't think it's going to have that bearish reversal. I think it's going to continue just to skyrocket, which it's starting to do again. We're already at $5 profit. Those shorters are about to eat shit, looks like. As the pound falls, like it's doing, part of the reason I don't like catching these falling knives like this is because sometimes you can get a shitty position when you just click the button here, especially when there's a lot of movement. And so, but a lot of times as this is falling, this one's correlated to be rising. And so we'll kind of keep doing what we're doing here. A lot of buying pressure. This definitely feels like more buyers in the market at the moment. Typical Swissy fashion. Big grabs there, but that was still above. Let me tap it. This wick is slightly above this wick, so you can see a lot of upward movement on this candlestick wick. A lot of buying pressure, a lot of buyers in here. This area to target as a potential take profit, definitely be the top of this guy. And for safety reasons, as I'm getting this coffee on, we'll do a stop loss and learn from our mistake, where definitely can see the result of not using them. I was just in this weird zone where it's just like I kept getting tapped. I do the same mistake in construction, like remodeling and stuff for my handyman business, with drywall, where it's like it's unnecessary to get it super tight and precise, because you just tape it and mud it and you fill in the difference. And actually, when you leave a little bit of space, same thing with a floor. You don't want the floor to be super tight against the wall. You want to give it some breathing room, especially where I live, where it gets cold in the winter and there's expansion and contraction and everything else. You want to give it that space. But there's like a precise little part of my brain that just like wants to go, well, you got to get it at the very bottom wick, at the very bottom of the thing, and or the very top, the tippy top. It's like you don't need to get it so precise. And I've lost money with dealing with it being so precise and everything, that I'm trying to resist that urge to be super precise, because it doesn't seem helpful. It seems more like a detriment. And so at the moment here, we're at $5. I think that's going to continue to the upside. Well, didn't cross that threshold, but we still got a lot of upward movement in these wicks. Up, up, up. After this big kind of bull. Keeping an eye on it. I'm also trying to get better at intraday trading at larger time scales, and just not having the need and desire to just constantly just put a bunch of attention on the chart. That moved in a very beneficial way for our position here. I just want to see if it clears this this high. Looks like it's going to. We can tell by the price action here on the P&L. I like to look at that as a gauge more so than the candles. The candles are kind of a lagging indicator. Not super laggy, but you can tell kind of the momentum shift by how fast that moves. But it looks like we've crossed, well, we're about to. I don't know what this black line is. Make it nice and small so we can see. And we just crossed that threshold with the wick. Very confident that's going to hit the take profit. And the other part I'm trying to work on is just letting shit ride. One of the things that's beneficial when you're losing is it almost draws you into what's possible. It's like, for me, I was sitting at negative 25, negative 30 in the P&L for hours and hours and hours, and it's like, if I was trying to hit negative, we just hit the take profit there. The next milestone is going to be this guy, and if it crosses this guy, which it might do right now, I'm actually going to get another buy-in. Just because I feel like this is now going to another level. Which it appears to be. So much action. So much action today. This is a great trading day. You almost don't even want to go get the coffee. Almost $5 again. This thing is just taking off. The thing when it's taking off like this, be super mindful of it getting shorted. I was listening to a guy the other day. He had I think an AI system that would hunt for these parabolic bull trends. It was more for the stock market, but I'm sure there's people. If I knew how to do that, I would do that. But that's beyond the scope of where I can do at the moment. Okay, while this is slowing down, I'm going to put another stop in at $5. Damn it, it didn't hold. Yeah, one of the things I like to do is once that wick hits, then I like to see where it's landing over here on the other side. Gives ideas for possible targets. Since we're at a pretty obvious uptrend here, oh wow, that just gapped down. I don't know why it does that. A lot of upward pressure. You can kind of see how this thing's moving. I'm gonna go make that coffee real quick. I'm going to let me jump in the chat, see what's going on with everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. Hopefully this is financial entertainment for you, and and is fun and somewhat exciting. And for those that are trading alongside, hopefully your day is going profitable. Looks like we're bouncing back pretty good from that gap down, up almost to $5 profit. But the thing of it is, with this position, this scaling, I think I have to clear $2. I'm pulling it up on my phone because I don't know how to see that from okay, so with 25k sizing, I have to clear, it's $1.75 plus 68 cents. Basically, it's like $2.50 round trip, or just one way. So I have to clear at least $5 to make a profit on this position. So that's good to know. But we did just break this high with this wick. Now we got a doji, the indecision people that are, I find the indecision crowd to be some of the worst people on planet Earth, and can't make up their mind. Yeah, so the problem is, if we're at like a $5 round trip, even getting out at $3 and you see green in the P&L, it can be tricky, because it's like, why I keep losing money? It's like, well, because the commissions and everything. And this is a real account, this is real cash, this is this is as real as it gets, folks. So you got to factor that into what you're doing. But at the moment, it looks like it's getting ready to blast off in the opposite direction here. As far as the target goes, we can do a Fibonacci retracement to, I don't know, the top of this level. Well, we do even higher. So it looks to be, and I wouldn't, put a shitload of stock into that. Wait, who's that guy? That's only a 3 pip target. We'll target that guy. That's 6 pips. Yeah, don't underestimate how fast this thing can take off either. Right. $11 profit. 10. like every time I want to go grab a cup of coffee, it's just like, no, this is skyrocket. Like, Mike, are you complaining? Are you complaining that it's just taking off and you can't even get a coffee break because you're printing so much money at the moment? It's like, yeah, humans are weird, aren't we? 91421, that's the target. 91421, is that what I just said? 20. About a $20 take profit. We'll just do no, we'll just leave it where it's out. Just because I liked where it lined it up on the other side. Lined. Let's see if that bounces up. It should. Meanwhile, it's coffee break time. Kind of different energy in here today, in the Swissy at least. Let's jump back to the pound. That guy's still dropping. I might end up getting in on both of them, but it just seems like the Swissy's getting a little bit more action. I don't know if it gives more money per pip, but it almost seems like it does, which can be an awesome thing, but it can also be a fucking shit show if you're on the wrong side of it. Okay, now that this thing is take profit set, I don't have the let's set this guy too. I can hear the traders now. It's like, Mike, you're being fucking stupid not setting a take profit. That was almost why I don't, because it almost just I'm just not even gonna fuck with it. I have that much faith in its bullish activity. But I'm going to grab that coffee, so be right back. In the meantime, let me jump onto my YouTube channel. Yeah, I've been producing music for a long time, and have a large library of commercial music for licensing, instrumental stuff. Also have a lot of guitar-related tracks that are just like covers, and I got all sorts of stuff going on. Let me just try to find not the time to be picky, Mike. Here's a I just did a remix. I'll just play this song. It's on a remix. Hopefully it's up loud enough everybody can hear it. Looks like it's playing. I'll turn up the volume. Apologies if this thing blasts off. We start, drown within my armor. Tell me secrets. Let me jump into Forex here and surrender. Looks like we're almost about to hit that take profit already. This doesn't feel like home, and I can't let go, 'cause I feel so alone. I don't know who to be if you're not around. Save me before I drown. Trying to be,
Don't need sobriety for you to get through to me. Tell me who you're trying to be. I can make it reality.
Alright, and we're back. Oh boy, that took a turn, didn't it? Looks like it's sitting here at this level. Let's try to gauge what's going on. Well, this is bouncing back. Thing I learned from the Swissy here is they got some big fucking swings. Make sure my microphone and everything's working. Okay. Alright, now we're back in business here. And so, yeah, this guy's got some big swings up and down. It's important to be mindful of the way each one of these charts has its own little personality. Looks like the pound, to me, looks like it's starting to level out. It could continue to fill in all this candlestick wick, which it looks like it actually is, but it really kind of going to be, once it closes here, get a little bit better indication what's going on with it. So you can see on the 1 minute chart starting to level out a little bit. I wouldn't be interested in a sell until it retraces up here and then drops back down. In the meanwhile, let's keep an eye on the Swissy. Promising with the height of that candlestick wick. Let's see how it does here at the bottom. with that. I'm going to close this position. I don't trust what's going on with it. What we're waiting for, this could be a bull trap. Actually, I'm probably put a sell in, actually. Let that sit and cook for a second. Actually, I'm not going to put a sell in. I'm going to wait to see what the next candlesticks kind of do. It's 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's look at the larger time scale on the Swissy here. I'm going to do a 1 hour. Big engulfing candle here. I would assume that this entire wick's going to get filled. I think we're still sitting in a good position as a target zone. The reason I got out of that trade instead of just riding it out with an unrealized loss is just because I got fucked many times in in the Swissy, just getting stuck in shitty positions and having to wait. And so I don't like that. I don't like being in that position. At this point, I think it's getting ready to take off. I'm gonna wait till it goes down just a hair to get a good buy. Yeah, right there. That seemed like a nice one. Yeah, the thing with it being on an uptrend like it is even when it goes down, you know, you feel pretty confident it's going to bounce back up. The problem is you just never know with the Swissy, at least from my experience, the limited experience. I got blasted, boom, these big shorts, and so kind of being mindful that it does that. I'm kind of just going sideways now. That was a good sign for us in a buy position. You see these big swings. You know, it's already swinging. You know, swinging this way, minus $10 up this way, plus $10. Now we're really full throttle moving right now. Up $10. Immediately down, you know, split the difference there, but at this point it should continue to really take off like a rocket. Let's see what's going on with everybody in here. Appreciate everybody liking, sharing, subscribing, and checking out the stream. Hopefully your trading day is going awesome. Look at that downward pressure. $10 down to zero, down to. That's exciting on some level, this much movement and activity. Be cool, you know, having a $83,000 account and be going up $500, $400, $300. Not so much when it goes against you though. Negative hundreds of dollars, but I think part of this thing is just getting neutral, or I wouldn't say numb or neutral, but just like not really caring if it's green or red. Maybe it's more pressure if this, like, day trading was like your only source of income, and you're just like, if I don't get this trade, I don't have my electric bill paid for, or that kind of desperate energy or whatever. No, I didn't get into trading till, you know, for years, you know, I didn't even spend money on anything. You know, it's just like my family, bills. I never really spent it on myself or did anything like that. You know, I never felt like I had everything. maybe some fancy coffee. You know, I like whole bean coffee, but like yeah, you know, for the most part, it's just, you know, give it to my family and whatnot. But you know, I started getting in a position where it was just like, okay, starting to see through my handyman business, like how when you're moving money regularly, you know, that it's almost like it draws more to you for some reason. It's like the more you spend and the more that you are investing, the more it just comes back and comes back and comes back. And so there's only so much you can do spending wise without being in an investment mode. Like, it's not easy to just drop $800 on shit, or $1,000 or whatever. It looks like we're about to blast off here. $21 profit. Our target zone is this line. A lot of times you get that high followed by a crash, so be mindful here to close it. I'm gonna close it. It might have just been too early to close it, but yeah, definitely a little bit too early. And before just jumping in, we'll wait. There we go. And if it blasts through this line, then we'll come up with a new take profit zone. Yeah, so far, you know, pretty happy with how the trading day is going. Up almost $50. Would be up almost 70 if I didn't get hit on that short right here. It's about 10 o'clock New York Standard, or New York session time, in the heart of the action. Not thrilled with how it's dawdling around up here. I'd like to see it just break through that that zone pretty aggressively. I'm just gonna get out of this trade. It seems like it's getting ready to be shorted. It's one of the lessons I'm trying to implement more and more so, is like, after a big impulse up, just getting out of it. I almost maybe want to try just doing that with a stop loss, but mainly because of these round trip fees now. So if we're at $5 of commissions before breaking even, I want to cash out as little as possible to limit those. Getting ready to take a buy, mainly because you know, I might just be being impulsive, but yeah, this is being impulsive. I'm just get out of it and stop being impulsive. That fear of missing out shit, like, oh, there's a little bit of green. There's a little bit of green. Maybe more. Looking for some confluences. The confluence one being those tails being up high. Now we'll get back into it. You know, the broker won big on that one. But it'd be up, up, up. It's a sign to me that it's gonna continue to go to the upside. You know, the danger zone, you know, with doing that, is it could just get short, you know, could get the shit shorted out of it like it's been, you know, getting, but now it's blasted through that. Uptrend confirmed. Let's find a new target. I'd almost think the peak right here, that would be a decisive liquidity zone. up to $8 profit, 10. And like I said, the actual, we are actually in profit. We got a $5 minimum. Now let's blast them up to 10, 11. Let's jump in the chat, see if anybody's in here. What's going on, everybody? Looks like there's more and more people watching and joining the live stream. That's cool. 492. Like I said, if I close it now, moderate break even. I feel like it's just continuing to go. Let's see what the pound's doing. Almost seems like the Swissy is a little bit funner to day trade, especially during New York, just because it's got so much activity. Looks like it's starting to go back up. This is what we're kind of looking for to get back in on this trade. Because I'm looking pretty much for a short position, big downward direction in that it was doing. Pretty demoralizing if you're on the bull train. Kind of, let me draw out what the game plan is on that. So basically, at this point, looking for it to get back up, maybe even to here. And we're going to write that down. Looking to about this zone right up in here. Once it hits that peak, then write it to the downside. Mainly because we are just coming out of a downtrend, and instead of thinking, oh, today's going to be the day that it finally reverses, going to keep having that pinned into our mind that, hey, this is probably still going to go down. And at least you would think test almost to like right here, and on a larger time scale you get that same pattern starting to emerge before it goes back up. And so that's kind of the game plan here with the pound and what we're doing with that, and why we're just kind of just not even fucking with it at the moment. It doesn't swing as much as the Swissy. Big sell-off right there. A lot of selling pressure going on, and it could just continue to go down and down and down as the Swissy is going up and up and up. It's a sign of things to come. Not necessarily going to, but we're dealing in probability. It's probable that will happen. And again, we have a new high with the Swissy followed by a short. Same pattern that you'll see over and over and over and over again. But what is the benefit for our position? What I'm looking at is you have that low, followed by this low, which is higher than that one. It's a probability sign, for me at least, that I look at, that the uptrend is continuing, and it should blast through that high on this go around right here. And that line right there is our new take profit zone. which it looks like it's going to blast right through. So we'll come up with a new take profit just by going to the left here, quickly looking at potential zones. The next one would be slightly above that guy. It's important to kind of have an idea where this could go. It looks like we're at a pretty big resistance level. I'm going to get in position here to see what this candlestick is doing. What we're targeting is this line, but at any point, if it shows weakness or indecision, we're going to close the position. This pattern is typical for it to take off, though. Again, higher, the low is higher, the low is way higher, low is still higher. The wick is higher, higher, higher. This will probably fill that in, get people excited, and continue to take off to this take profit zone. We're at $17, $18, $19. Now we're taking off like a rocket. Let's see if it hits that line or what it does. We got our finger on the button. There's two buttons actually. I like the close all positions button a little bit better. A little easier to hit when you're hysterical and emotional that you're, you know, having some wins. And new high followed by short. I'm going to put a stop loss in like a smart person would do. Oh, that's the limit. I went ahead and just took profit real quick. Just didn't trust what that was doing. And immediately followed by a buy. That was emotional decision making right there. Right now sitting at indecision mode. Indecision mode is typically pretty nice, following a high to ugh. I might get out of this trade at that little loss. We're gonna wait this out a little bit better. Just because, again, I've had a handful of experiences with the Swissy where, you know, you think that you're gonna take off, and then it does one of these, with a big streak down, and it's like, oh, you know, I've been sitting really nice at like a $50 profit, and it all just, you know, half of it just went away just in a matter of 30 seconds. I don't know why that won't erase. What the hell is going on? I don't like this omen. But ultimately, with this guy, let's horizontal line. This threshold right here, this bottom of this, see what it does right now. If it does a double bottom right there, we'll rebuy it. And we'll blast it through. See, that was a good idea to just get out of that position. Doesn't look like much, but that'd probably be almost a $15 loss. This is at 2%. And I'm resisting the urge to double dip the bias and hit a sell, mainly because I feel like this is a short-lived thing. We double bottom right there, and still be mindful of what we're doing, because it could still drop. It could take all this shit out. So I'm going to be a little bit more cautious and get some sort of confirmation candle. We're not going to get tricked into just going for that first bullish candle. Do like that its that its wick is slightly above that previous, but this could also be a bull trap. So instead of doing hundreds of trades where I continuously walk into bull traps and get nickel and dime to death, we're gonna wait it out a little bit. If that means missing out on a little bit of profit, and this is the trick that gets me, is wanting to get every little fucking penny. It's like wanting to be right at that position, but I'm liking that. But we're still gonna wait, because I want to see it cross this candle, have a pullback, and then buy. There we go. And the reason for that is just with the Swissy in particular. I've had a couple run-ins where it's just like these big just selling pressures. I'm not really feeling it as much today as I did the last time I day traded this, which was last week, or no, a couple days ago. I don't know. My days are getting to be a big fucking blur. Oh, Mike, you're just getting older. Okie dokie. And kind of the game plan is still looking at that line up here as a potential take profit zone. Starting to get movement in a bullish direction. Once it gets confirmed, which is about to, by crossing that threshold, see that tiny wick right there? If we zoom in, it barely breached that. Big sign that it is going to take off. Yeah, just that little tiny nibble. Not super concerned with the short, because it's typical following a new, break of structure. And this is a micro break. I mean, but even so, I mean, if you look at it as being impersonal and game-like, and not emotional, like, oh, it tapped it, maybe that was a mistake and it's going to continue to the downside. You can think that, and project emotions onto the market, but from just my experience of it, which is limited, it doesn't seem to behave like that. It seems to, if it doesn't do it, it ain't going to. Real black and white certainty, almost. And that's the realm I like to operate in, a realm of certainty. If I start feeling a bunch of indecision and doubt, not positive for the trade. not positive for any type of business activity if you're sitting there in indecision and doubt and what if this happens and what if that happens. And it's like, if that happens, then you deal with it, and there's never a perfect time. There's always, there is a more probable time, but even in some of those odds, it's like sometimes you just got to go for it. And I think a lot of that stems from like my past when I used to skateboard, and it's like to land a trick off of like a big set of stairs or a big gap or a big drop or any of that type of shit. It's so satisfying and rewarding when you stick it perfectly and roll away. And even the sound, even today, 20 some years later, if I'm like watching a YouTube video and I could just have the volume up and I can hear the sound that the wheels make when they connect onto the ground. When you stick it, it makes a sound that sticks with you. It's like, oh, that sounded like you stuck it perfect. And the problem with like fear and indecision in the skateboarding world is if you are operating from that kind of vibration, more than likely you're going to bail out of the trick, hurt yourself even more than if you would have just been decisive and stuck with it and just tried to stick the landing. I've noticed that with music too. It's like performing in live environments. If you get stuck in your mind about like, oh, what if I mess this up? What if this happens? What if they throw a bottle at me? What if people hate me? What if all these what ifs and worst case scenario thinkings? A lot of times, that's the actual problem. Is those thoughts and those worries and concerns, instead of just like focusing on what you want and what you want to accomplish. Try to pull back when I suck that coffee down so it doesn't be obnoxious in the microphone. I'm liking how this is just barreling ahead here. Let's jump in the chat, see what you guys are up to. Appreciate y'all being here and vibing with me for a bit. It's about 10:30 New York time, Eastern time. We got about an hour of the power hour here left. And for those that aren't familiar with sessions and everything, it's like from about 9:30 to 11:30, New York session is really just reaching a crescendo. If you ain't catching a move, if it's not playing out by lunch, probably not going to. A lot of traders are only on the 9:30 to 11:30 train. Don't know what that was about. Well, looks like it breached this wick. Let me get this shit out of the way here so we can all take a gander. You can see barely breached that high, but it was enough to then trigger the shorters that come in reliably. And this is a I feel like a trick. It's like, oh shit. Get people to freak out and get out of the position, let the market take your money. But it's very, very normal that you have a breach of a high followed by a short. It works in reverse too. When you have a low, a lot of times you'll break a low. Next thing you know, bullish activity, followed by back in the direction that was trending to begin with. I'm not thrilled with what's happening at the moment. But this is the new swing low down here. theoretically, any position, above that doesn't break the trend. But what feels optimistic about what's going on about this candlestick is that you can see slightly above. That wick is below that one. Doesn't mean much at the moment. But it is a strong indication that it's getting ready to shoot back up. That being the strongest indication is just blew past. This is kind of the thick line here. It just blew past that, and it blew past up here. So I would assume if I had any more money to put on the table, I would have put it in right now, right there, because it's a big sign that the thing is going to take off big time. It's kind of that same pattern. I'll draw it for everybody so we can be all on the same page. So you have the inducement, new high, make this purple so we can see it and it's obvious. So then you have the purple, then the pullback, followed by a blast to the upside. And that is our entry pattern that you see over and over and over and over again. It's just a matter of being patient, waiting for it, or not being patient and just doing whatever. But we're trying to find that arrow real quick so everybody can kind of see the pattern. Take it to the upside there, and then take our buy position anywhere in here, because it could land anywhere, and that's kind of the tricky part. Not thrilled with that. I'm going to go ahead and put a stop loss in. Yeah, that's the danger zone with the Swissy. That was a really out of left field, this big short. I'm just waiting for it to kind of pull back. Because again, a lot of times it breaches that low, followed by a push in the other direction. Down the whole $16 in a matter of 30 seconds. I got my finger on the button, getting ready to close it again. First sign of trouble. $13 now. We're at almost a 2% risk. I'm hesitant to realize this loss. The reason being is we still have that confluence of higher prices from that candlestick wick. And this could all be stemming from this initial now here's the moment of truth, whether or not I should close it or not. Really kind of waiting and seeing. Kind of sketchy, giving away a lot of the profits that we've been up today. Get my finger on the close position button like right now. Not that it matters, because you guys see how fast it can shoot to the opposite way when it goes against you. Before you even realize what's going on. And it's like, oh shit. Not really thrilled with what it's doing. Still got the finger on a button. Still undecided whether I want to realize this loss or not. The reason I'm not is because you can almost look at that as being the low and this being the new low. It's kind of risky at this point though. Sitting at 21, what is that? Almost 3%. We have a doji followed by a indecision, another indecision. They call that a morning star pattern. Yeah, we're definitely kind of gambling right now. Reason being, this could continue to the downside, and we could get an even bigger a realized loss. With it being 10:30, you know, the big move a lot of times happen already. Let me get one more little move. Is that a double bottom? Looks like a double bottom, which is promising that it'll bounce up higher. It doesn't always mean that though. New low. Definitely in a danger zone, folks. Kind of got a hammer. Positive sign that it's getting ready to reverse. once it reverses, it should shoot to our take profit fairly quick. We're at a 2% risk at the moment. Looks like it's reversing. That's the thing with the Swissy. It will fucking turn on you on a dime. I don't know if I would necessarily trust it with huge lot sizes. It is fun to day trade it though during New York. Hopefully it's entertaining. At this point, it's still danger zone, but it's starting to turn around. Starting to get more buying pressure. That low is being pushed up pretty aggressively. Let's see if our resolve paid off by not realizing this loss. Definitely wouldn't recommend that. I would probably recommend being a little smarter with the stop losses. But one of the things I get into is exuberance, maybe is the right word. You know, when you get a bunch of wins, I have a tendency then to get a little sloppy when it comes to risk, I guess. You know, you feel unstoppable. Kind of trading sideways. Looks like it's starting to find some support. Not thrilled that just hit a new low. There's a bunch of tension. Yeah, I don't like being in this position at all. You know, it's like well, we'll keep riding it out. Not the wisest move. Reason being is it could just back down to here, but shit. Yeah, that's exactly what we didn't want to happen. Huge loss. Let's see if we can collect a little bit of we're just going to get out of this. We're going to realize that and wait till we get to the bottom of this shit show. Let's jump into the chat, see what's going on with everybody. What's going on, everybody? Looks like more and more people are starting to dip in onto the stream. Appreciate you being here and riding out the trading day with me. It's about 10:40. Jump back into here, see what's going on. In typical Forex fashion, it wouldn't be surprising if now that I realize that it shoots to a record high. Just didn't write it out enough. Let's go jump to the pound now that I feel betrayed by the Swissy. Not a bunch of movement over here. And kind of what the wait is for here. Is this any sign of a turnaround? And that is definitely something to be very cautious of when trading the Swissy. It's a negative in the sense if you get on the wrong side of it. It could be a positive if you are with the trend. I'm looking for a buy, but I'm waiting for it to fucking get to a nice level of support. I don't trust taking a buy right now, not after just getting kicked in the nuts like that. I definitely want to see a little bit more of a turnaround before just jumping into anything else. We got maybe one more trade in us, and I got to start painting on that house. At the moment, I'm just waiting for any sign of daylight here. We got a new low here, followed by this low. But I'm not fucking with it at all until I see probably a break of that threshold. I also want to see trending upwards. Right now, we're kind of just trending sideways. I'm almost thinking about shorting those. Just put a short on. As you guys can see, it can be your best friend, or it can just come back and just really just fuck your girlfriend. I don't know if that was a wise decision on the short here. We'll find out. Mainly, let's look at the little larger time scale here, see what's going on. It's hard to tell. We're at kind of that indecision zone. but it looks like it's starting to trend more and more to the downside. I'm going to leave that guy here for now. Almost 11 o'clock. It's probably my last trade. This short. See if it breaks my heart or we catch a win. Breaking my heart right now. Fucking bitch. Okay, with that being said, I think I'm going to I'm about to bounce here. Gave up most of our profit, and now we're sitting in a bunch of almost revenge trading energy. And so this is actually going to probably be a good time to hit this sell. We'll do one more. One more. Famous last words. One more, and then we'll kind of look at our trading for the week, which has been a pretty big failure again, you know, but nothing's really a failure if you learn something. And we did pay a lot of fucking... We paid some tuition today to the market. I just put a buy in because now I'm becoming emotional. But it's also starting to look like it's turning around. And I'd like to collect some of the money I just deposited into the market. Just remember, I'm not a shining example of what to do. We're really blasting off now, though. Seems like it was easier to lose $40 than to gain this 20. But again, we're doing this thing. So I guess back to the initial game plan. We'll hit this. We'll see if it hits this level. We got $20 back, and this is a classic example of like what not to do. You know, trying to get your money back and everything. Revenge trading. The thing I don't think a lot of traders talk about, sometimes it works. Yeah, sometimes it works, and there's like a reason why people try to do it, and why I try to do it is because sometimes it does pay off. And other times you can just continue to fuck yourself more and more and more. And yeah, it's a balance. But now we have a break of structure to the upside. and it's almost 11 o'clock, so I would assume this is going to be the last push before everybody calls it a weekend. Let's jump into the chat one more time. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate y'all being here. Let's get over this little milestone here. Got my finger on the button, ready to get out of this trade at any moment. I'm not really convinced that it's going to drop like a rock anymore, mainly because of all the thresholds it did break, but you never know with the Swissy. I'm going to put a stop in at fucking just like that before I could even put the stop in. Only hope now is that it takes off again. Yeah, what a bitch. Alright, and with that being said, that was the joy of scalping the Swissy. We'll try that again Monday. I'm going to have a little bit bigger account to fuck with. And this is like a classic sell. Yeah, look at that. I'm not even going to fuck with it. Look at that. It continue to drop. And that's just in a matter of 2 minutes. 1, 2. Didn't pull the trigger fast enough, and yeah, that's the Swissy for you. So now that we're starting to understand, its nature, we put in another sell or another buy. I just have a feeling he's going to take off one more time. How many times is it going to take my money here in a second? We'll find out. I just had to do one more. And that's the degenerate in me that's doing that. Just one more. Just one more. And get out of this thing. Now I'm just being reckless. This is like total revenge trading. Now I just want to one more attempt at this freaking high here. I know it's going to get to it, and it just feels like it's going to do it after I fucking just call her a day. And that's the shit that pisses me off more than anything. Is you keep losing, and then you give up, and then that moment that you give up, it's like Matrix style shit, where it's like as soon as you give up, then it takes off. It's like, fuck you, you freaking sneaky bitch. This is not for children, by the way. You know, I'm hoping anybody that has disposable income is an adult. But you never know. It's this kind of indecision with the Swissy that's really irritating. Because it's like when it's going back and forth, it's like nobody's making money. Everybody's just losing money and giving it to the market, and it's just like, pick a fucking direction, people, and stick with it. How hard is that? This is like a simple thing. Up and down. But when it's in a matter of 1 minute to 2 minutes, when a lot of people aren't on the 1 minute chart. A lot of people are on the 5 minute, which for us it looks very appealing because it looks like that whole wick's going to fill in. But we're trying to catch that last little 11:30 push before lunch. And kind of formulating the Monday game plan for the Swissy here is to be super, super mindful of these dramatic sell-offs that seem to be very common and part of the personality of this pair, which is fine. If we're going to be hunting antelope or some shit, it's like you want to know the nature of what you're hunting. You don't need to make up a big story about it, but you just need to start to understand its personality so you can hunt it better. It's like in raising, I have 4 turkeys and probably 20 chickens, 4 of which are meat chickens, and we're going to eat the turkeys. I'm probably not going to butcher them, but I'll probably butcher the meat birds. And the thing with that is, getting into it kind of a hunting predator kind of mindset, which a lot of the world seems to be like prey animals for some reason, and don't seem to recognize when they're being hunted. But what we're kind of doing is just, looks like we're on that march to the 11 o'clock last move. And it's like very little trust. I have very little trust in this crowd at the moment to stay consistently in a trend. I don't know if it's who is making up the majority of the buyers and sellers of this crowd, like what culture they're from or whatever, but it's just like the panic sell-off of the crowd of the Swissy is a little much. But we're gonna ride this 11 o'clock move. Get some of our money back so we don't feel like such an utter failure for the day in front of everybody in the world that has a internet connection and can watch this trading. I'm going to look at a larger perspective in case my consciousness is affecting the faith of the trade here. It's a little bit easier to not feel so hysterical looking at the larger time. And we're kind of only really going to have about the faith of this little line for now. That's what we're waiting for, that threshold. See how it's like, when you're just sitting waiting, it's super easy to catch these $40 losses. But on a win you got to sit there and just bite your fingernails, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's indecision. But $25 profit. If it's going to do it, it's going to do it right now. $30 profit. We'll put the stop at $25. This is the big move here, guys. Any sign of weakness, and I'm closing out. We'll see what it does if it blasts through that line. At $34 profit, 36. Blasted through it. Let's see if it gets our previous take profit. Fuck yeah. $42. 44. Put that stop loss right there at that gap. $44 profit. This is the money maker before launch. I'm gonna close that position. Oh, so close to hitting the $800. It did hit that take profit. Not sure I short it. I'm thinking about shorting it actually. It's blasting through that. I just took another buy like an idiot. Being very freaking finger on the button here for possible freaking short. I just took another buy. I think it's got a little bit of life left in it. I got my finger right on this button now. Partly because of my own dramas. I just wanted to hit that 800, 700 or $7 profit. Shit. And I got the 800. There we go. I'm gonna catch this sell. I'm definitely over trading. I really don't trust what I'm doing at all. I'm just being really emotional. But like I said, with the Swissy, I mean, it'll just be your best friend and then fuck your girlfriend. It is very temperamental. Not really liking what it's doing, so of waiting to see if it blasts through it, because I am going to hit a sell on this before lunch. That was slightly below that guy. It's a sign to me that's going to possibly go down. I'm going to do one more. Hopefully it drops dramatically. Yeah, I've yet to catch one of those big sell-offs on the Swissy. I've been fucked by it multiple times now, but never on the receiving end. So I'm hoping to be on the receiving end of one of these gigantic drops. I'm hoping to be on that receiving end like right now. We had that big 11 o'clock move. I don't really care that his personality is like that. If it's known, you know, it's one thing if you're just like getting sucker punched by it all the time. It's quite a different story when it's obvious. We're hovering around a danger zone. This is kind of gambling. I didn't wait for an entry. I didn't really wait for anything. But just kind of just from experience of just doing this, there seems to be these moments, you know, through the day, kind of catching that big swing down. You know, from like 9:30 to 10:30, it's like you get a big push, followed by this 11 o'clock push before lunch. Now this is dropping. I think a lot of people like me, who've been screwed by the Swissy, are like, oh shit, here we go, it's gonna freaking tank. Which we're up to $13, so it is kind of doing that. Back above 800. Don't feel like a total failure for the day, but I'd like to see it one more time just drop like a fucking rock here. Mainly because I feel like that would put us more in balance with you know, getting these screw jobs. And keeping an eye on the P&L for any sign of, you know, taking off. Not that it really matters because this thing moves so fucking fast. But I'm looking to see how it's flashing. 14.14. That's what I'm looking at as far as price action goes, to see if it's getting ready to turn around or drop, because this could be again a classic bull trap and then drop $20. And so I'm kind of just waiting. 14.14, 15, looks like it's going to continue to drop. Looks like we're on the right side of this thing for the last trade of the day here. And if history is any indication with the Swissy, once it starts fucking going over the edge, everybody just hits the sell button. 18, almost $20. How low is it going to go? I'm really happy with the position that we're in. I got my finger on the button to close it. But I feel like this downtrend is just gonna fucking just streak down. Finger on the button for any sign of reversal. Watching the P&L price teetering on the brink of a big sell-off. $23. But also at any time ready to get out of this trade. Oh, there we go. There's a big fuck you candle. I think it's going to keep going down. I think we're in an awesome position. I'm going to put a stop loss in. $22. Oh yeah, we're cooking with gas now. Real tight stop loss on this guy. $35 profit. I think we're being compensated by our creator here that is putting us in balance with the times we've been fucked by these dramatic sell-offs in the past few times. We're at a $40 profit. And I just hit my stop loss hit. We got a hammer. I'm thinking it'd probably still go down to the downside even more, but now the equity is at 821 and I feel like a winner. So with that being said, I think that's a great time to jump in the chat one last time. See if anybody's hanging out. Looks like everybody's hanging out, but no real comments. The chat is for you guys too, to network and talk with other traders and like-minded people that are scalping and day trading and all this kind of fun stuff. Hopefully, you've had a profitable day. Looks like I've ended up having a kind of a bipolar day, really swinging all over the place, but ending the day $21 in profit from when we started. That's good. Down for the week, $79, which for a loss is still moving in a way that is more and more profitable each week. Next, probably do a Sunday strategy session, kind of going over what's going on for the day. I don't like having any type of trade in over the weekend. Some people like that. I'm not a fan of that, but like yeah, pretty much going to do a Sunday session. I'm going to add some more money. I'll probably be about $1,000 account on Monday when we start trading again. I'm probably just going to keep trading maybe the Swissy from now on during the day. It kind of depends on what the setup is, but kind of like the price action. It's kind of exciting, entertainment value wise, for anybody watching. And probably do all-in lot sizes again on $1,000 account just to keep it interesting. And yeah, until then, I appreciate y'all being here, trading with me. Again, not financial advice by any means, more financial entertainment. And other than that, thanks for being here, and God bless. And till the next time, till the next session, take it easy.